Imagine looking at the horizon, but the deep blue water is completely gone forever. Massive cargo ships suddenly drop from the sky, crashing onto the dry, muddy ground. Millions of fish and giant whales fall helplessly onto an endless, barren alien landscape. The Earth's largest hidden secrets are instantly exposed to the burning light of day. Forget the flat sand. You are staring at mountains far taller than Mount Everest. What would actually happen if our entire ocean floor was suddenly laid completely bare? Spoiler alert, humanity would not just lose its beautiful beaches and fresh seafood buffets. Our beautiful blue planet would quickly transform into a completely unlivable, scorched, hellish wasteland. In just a few seconds, the absolute most terrifying apocalypse begins to unfold rapidly. Do not look away, because this nightmare reveals the shocking truth about our world. A thick wall of mud stretches out infinitely across the once sparkling blue surface. Shipwrecks from centuries past stick out like broken ribs on the dark, cracked soil. Submarines fall hundreds of meters, shattering against the sharp volcanic rocks waiting below them. Sunken ancient cities suddenly face the bright sun for the very first time ever. Giant deep-sea trenches look like terrifying black scars slicing across the naked planet. Without the heavy water pressure, weird alien creatures from the deep instantly swell up. The Mariana Trench is no longer a dark abyss, but a deadly, yawning canyon. Endless fields of hydrothermal vents blow toxic black smoke directly into the open air. Giant squids lie absolutely motionless, baking under a scorching sun they never actually felt. But the worst part is not the dying marine life scattered across the dirt. Our global climate system relies entirely on the massive oceans to absorb the sun's heat. Without the sea, that intense solar energy has absolutely nowhere left to safely go. Temperatures along the old coastlines shoot up rapidly, sparking massive, uncontrollable urban firestorms everywhere. Dense green forests burst into flames spontaneously, sending thick black smoke across the globe. The sky turns a toxic shade of orange as millions of dying trees burn. We just lost the most critical cooling engine that kept our fragile Earth alive. Global temperatures instantly spike by dozens of degrees, turning major cities into giant ovens. People rush desperately outside, only to breathe in hot, suffocating air burning their lungs. Airplanes flying above suddenly drop in altitude as changing thermal currents wreck the atmosphere. The terrifying sound of drying, cracking earth echoes loudly through every single quiet neighborhood. Bridges that once spanned majestic rivers now just hang uselessly over dry, dusty canyons. All the beautiful white clouds in the sky slowly dissolve and vanish completely forever. No ocean means there is absolutely no evaporation happening to create fresh rain clouds. The global water cycle has suddenly crashed, stopping all rain from falling ever again. Drinking water supplies evaporate quickly, leaving billions of desperate people fighting over muddy puddles. Major rivers dry up into cracked dirt pathways leading towards the massive, empty ocean. Every single piece of green vegetation begins to wither, turn brown, and eventually die. Animals in the wild collapse from extreme heat exhaustion under a merciless, burning sun. The dust from the dried ocean floor gets whipped up into massive, suffocating sandstorms. These gigantic dry storms swallow entire continents, turning daylight into pitch-black, dusty night. As the days pass, a much deadlier silent killer begins stalking the surviving humans. You feel tired, dizzy, and you are gasping desperately for a single deep breath. The air feels incredibly thin, just like standing on top of a giant mountain. We forgot that microscopic ocean plants called phytoplankton produce half of our breathable oxygen. When the oceans vanished, those tiny oxygen factories died immediately on the dry dirt. Combined with the burning forests, our planet's breathable oxygen levels are rapidly dropping fast. People stumble in the dusty streets, clutching their chests as invisible suffocation takes over. Firefighters cannot put out the spreading infernos because their water hoses blow out dust. The mid-ocean ridge, the longest mountain range, is now fully exposed to the atmosphere. Usually cooled by freezing water, these volatile tectonic plates are becoming dangerously unstable now. Without billions of tons of heavy water pushing down, the Earth's crust aggressively cracks. Massive earthquakes violently rip apart cities that were built far away from typical fault lines. Thousands of underwater volcanoes erupt simultaneously, spewing hot, glowing lava onto the exposed seabed. Rivers of boiling molten rock carve glowing red paths through the dark, muddy abyss. Volcanic ash rockets directly into the upper atmosphere, blocking out the sun completely everywhere. A freezing, apocalyptic darkness rapidly replaces the deadly scorching heat we just barely survived. The fiery volcanic hellscape meets a sudden drop in temperature, creating bizarre weather patterns. Violent dry hurricanes rip across the barren sea floor, tearing up old shipwreck debris. A thick gray blanket of toxic volcanic ash buries the entire frozen, dead landscape. Survivors huddle in dark underground bunkers, desperately fighting over the last cans of food. Our beautiful world is completely silent now, buried under ash and baked by lava. Even if you survive the heat and suffocation, freezing starvation waits for you next. The salt flats left behind by the ocean stretch out like brilliant white deserts. Fierce winds blow toxic salt dust into the air, destroying any remaining farm crops. The continents we know are just giant islands standing isolated above the deep craters. Gravity itself feels slightly different standing at the bottom of the exposed Mariana Trench. Looking directly up, the clouds seem impossibly distant, floating miles above your small head. The vast pressure difference creates violent downdrafts that smash into the empty ocean basins. Colossal tornadoes of dry dust and sharp salt crystals scour the ruined ocean floor. Earth slowly becomes a twin of Mars, a barren, dusty, completely lifeless rock floating. What about all the nuclear submarines that suddenly fell to the jagged ocean floor? Their advanced reactors crack open, leaking highly radioactive material across the dried salt dunes. Bioluminescent deep-sea fish leave behind glowing, rotting corpses shining brightly in the darkness. The massive coral reefs of Australia turn into brittle, white skeleton bone fields instantly. Beautiful underwater caves now hang exposed on high cliffs, dripping their last water drops. Without the water's buoyancy, massive underwater mountains collapse under their own crushing heavy weight. Landslides the size of entire European countries crash violently into the lower ocean trenches. The deafening roar of falling rock is the only sound left on this planet. Every communication cable connecting our global internet snaps violently as the seabed dramatically shifts. The digital world dies almost exactly at the same time the natural world collapses. Satellites in space capture haunting images of a brown, completely unrecognizable dead Earth below. No more swirling blue hurricanes or calm white clouds paint the dark cosmic background. Just a bruised, broken sphere wrapped entirely in a suffocating toxic gray dust cloud. Those who manage to reach high mountain peaks watch the valleys fill with smoke. They realize the oxygen is thinner up here, making survival absolutely impossible very soon. Ice caps at the north and south poles slide violently off the exposed bedrock. Millions of tons of glacial ice plunge into the deep, dry craters below them. The ice melts quickly, instantly boiling into steam as it hits the hot rocks. A brief, phantom rain falls locally, offering a cruel, fleeting moment of false hope. But the steam is soon swallowed by the vast, endless desert of the oceans. We always assumed the ground beneath the ocean was completely solid and perfectly stable. We never truly appreciated the incredible delicate balance that kept our entire world spinning. The crust fractures continue to widen, revealing glowing orange magma rivers beneath the earth. It feels exactly like gazing straight down into the terrifying fiery depths of hell. Giant cracks split old continents apart as the tectonic plates slide out of control. Africa and South America move visibly away from each other over the dry bed. The earth is violently reshaping its own face without the ocean's heavy cooling blanket. Deserts expand outward rapidly, swallowing the dying green zones within just a few weeks. Cities constructed out of strong concrete crumble under extreme thermal expansion and constant earthquakes. Our mighty skyscrapers collapse, joining the rusted shipwrecks scattered down in the dark depths. Could any human actually survive this terrifying global catastrophe for more than a month? Perhaps a few billionaires hiding in deep underground bunkers equipped with advanced oxygen scrubbers. But even their massive food supplies and filtered water tanks will eventually run dry. They will stare at sterile white bunker walls while the planet burns to ash. The surface becomes so toxic that simply breathing outside would dissolve your own lungs. Atmospheric pressure drops radically, boiling the blood of anyone standing exposed on the seabed. Every single sunset is blood red, filtered through thick clouds of ash and dust. There are no more birds flying across the sky, only falling rocks and debris. Windstorms scream through the empty canyons, mimicking the sounds of giant dying whales. It is a lonely, desolate symphony of destruction playing for an entirely empty audience. Look closely at the dried Mariana Trench, a gigantic scar that humanity never conquered. Mysterious metal objects and unidentified ancient artifacts lie exposed in the cold, dark mud. We finally discover the secrets of the deep, but we are too dead to care. Gold and precious diamonds litter the ocean floor, completely worthless to the starving survivors. Money means absolutely nothing when a single glass of water costs your entire life. The atmosphere continues to leak rapidly out into the cold darkness of outer space. Earth's protective magnetic field struggles as the core cools down without the ocean's insulation. Deadly solar radiation directly hits the barren surface, permanently destroying any remaining bacterial life. The brilliant auroras over the poles disappear, replaced by harsh, blinding ultraviolet solar winds. This empty shell of a planet is what Mars looked like billions of years ago. Water is the ultimate cosmic miracle that completely separates us from the dead rocks. Without it, the fragile illusion of human dominance over nature shatters in mere seconds. We built enormous towering cities, completely forgetting they rested on a delicate water balloon. Pop the balloon, and the entire magnificent civilization collapses directly into the muddy dust. Slowly, the intense heat bakes the seabed into a hard, glossy shell of glass. Meteorites from space now crash into the Earth without oceans to safely absorb them. Massive impact craters randomly join the deep sea trenches, violently destroying the planet's surface. The Earth spins silently, a scorched brown marble drifting aimlessly through the vast galaxy. All our history, art, and furious wars are buried perfectly under thick volcanic ash. No alien visitor would ever guess that this Hell's Cape was once a blue paradise. They would just fly past our dead world, entirely ignoring the silent, floating graveyard. But open your eyes wide right now, breathe deeply, and feel the cool breeze. The majestic blue oceans are still here, gently hugging our vibrant coastlines every day. Rain still falls from the sky, washing the dirty city streets and nourishing forests. Whales still sing beautiful songs in the deep, completely hidden beneath the crashing waves. This terrifying apocalypse is just a dark nightmare, a powerful warning from the future. Every single drop of water on Earth is a precious, irreplaceable miracle of life. We are currently polluting these vital oceans with millions of tons of toxic plastic. We are actively heating up the delicate water that protects us from solar destruction. If we destroy the ocean's fragile ecosystem, we slowly create this exact same apocalypse. It might not happen in 5 seconds, but a slow death is just as permanent. The massive coral reefs are already bleaching white, mimicking the dead skeletons we imagined. Look at the deep blue sea next time you stand quietly on the beach. Respect its immense, terrifying power and aggressively protect the delicate balance of our world. Because a planet entirely without its oceans is a planet without any future tomorrow. Share this terrifying video if you truly believe our beautiful oceans are worth protecting. Hit the subscribe button to constantly explore the most terrifying mysteries of our universe. What other massive global catastrophes should we visually simulate in our very next video? Leave your brilliant ideas in the dark comments section below, right below this video. Until next time, keep your eyes wide open and stay curious about our world.